Welcome to the Gaming Pulpit. This is all things Sony. We have a lot to talk about today, about three subjects, but they're very important. Let me know in the comments what you liked or disliked about the video, and if you liked it, a sub will be definitely appreciated. And let's start. So, I'm sure you guys are well aware that Sony totally broke the internet just with a tech demo of an empty tech demo that only housed one character and how she was fucking moving around in environments and how uh, impressive it was. There were two publications, one from Unreal themselves and the other one was from IGN. I think this is probably Unreal's biggest, other than Fortnite, um, biggest video. I mean, the thirst for the PlayStation 5 is that real. And this goes to show you the narrative Sony is totally controlling the narrative. I know there's been some things, this is a channel that's called All Things Sony. So there's going to be some Sony information as well. And by the way, as comparison, you got two publications or two YouTube channels that did 11 million. That's IGN and Unreal. Microsoft's I believe what was it? The Inside Xbox only did like 500,000, and everybody knew about it, and still didn't give a fuck about it. And Microsoft had a lot of things on their side. And Ubisoft is huge. They sold 10 titles or 11 titles that sold 10 million copies this generation. So they're big news, and they still found a way to fuck it up. No, there is a narrative about Sony that they're not doing so well, and they're not doing well because of COVID. I mean, Sony's a large company, and they do cell phones and TVs and all this other shit, but they just don't have people working in the factories at this moment, or even in China. It's just not one of those things that they have, and the demand is lower in general, and they weren't doing like explosive as in the first place. So this is going to say a lot as well. The PlayStation 5 is going to be very important for Sony this generation, and how honestly with this whole multi-platform and the rebranding of Sony shit, making it like a PlayStation Studio type thing, you're going to see more and more games. That are going to be on at least on a PC if it makes sense, because they don't want to fuck up what they currently have. But Sony's in this position where they have to stay afloat, so just know that. So PlayStation is important, super important, and this goes to show you how important it is. I mean, a tech demo did fucking, what is it? Who knows? The 17 million with all the websites together. People are thirsty for the fucking information, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. Next topic. I think there is legitimately a misunderstanding with the PlayStation 5. They say that the PlayStation 5 is going to be powerful, but it's not going to be as powerful as the Xbox Series X. And here's the thing: they're designed differently, even though they utilize roughly the same architecture. That's the thing. They're just going to work differently. I mean, people are giving Sony its praises in general. One of the things that, what is it, Epic Games or Epic CEO Tim Sweeney was like, the PlayStation 5 is like super impressive. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to drive the sales of, drive the future of PCs, which consoles have always done, or has done that as of late, I should say. One of the reasons why they have done that is because there's more market share there. It's going to push PCs, so it's pretty good. Another thing that Epic Games has said is that they fucking, what is it? The PlayStation 5 tech is better than PCs at the moment, but you can't really take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you can always upgrade a PC. But that's good to know that they think that. But that's not what this section of the video is about. It's about the global illumination that you saw in this particular demo, or just the tech demo in general. There's been a lot of talk about global illumination, where you have a process of bouncing lights all throughout the environment, billions and billions of lights, which is way too computationally complex and too much for these systems. It's just overkill. So what you see in the demo, from my understanding, I kind of figured this was going to be the case because it ran too well. Screen space, global illumination. I was looking at that before. Now, when it comes to screen space global illumination, it's kind of like the screenplay's ambient occlusion, where there's basically a depth. There's some sort of there's a filter that can understand spatial awareness, and that can kind of control light. In this case, it kind of extrapolates light. It's kind of like a screen space reflections and shit like that. So, um, it's gathering information based off of what is shown on screen and not is what is in the environment. And this is going to be honestly a way for, to make things easier. Global illumination is just not feasible in any realistic, sense for PCs or consoles. This is going to be a way to make it easier for everybody, and it looks good. It shouldn't matter to anybody how you get there. Honestly, it should matter what it looks like in the end results. And if it's going to make a game look like this real time, who gives a fuck if it's counting rays or if it's a filter? On to the next subject. Now we're going to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. They just did a state of play about a 18-minute video of Ghost of Tsushima. And I am super impressed. And I am also understanding as to why we are not receiving a lot of information for the PlayStation 5. A lot of information for the PlayStation 5 is going to make current generation look like shit. And that is definitely apparent when it comes to these, that demo that we just saw yesterday. It's not that Ghost of Tsushima looked bad, because it's probably one of the best looking games generation. Is that demo looked that damn good? And if you didn't know, that demo was on an early build of the PlayStation 5. So that's the type of shit that we were going to see with next generation. But what was going on in Ghost of Tsushima was really, really nice. I really like the fact that there's no waypoints or a whole bunch of shit cluttering the screen. I like the fact that they use other visual cues, which is really awesome. I don't think a lot of games really do that the way that they should. They had a fox kind of lead you into a different direction, or a bird kind of lead you, a colorful bird lead you into a different direction. You know what I mean? What I didn't like about the demo, honestly, is that they didn't show good combat, really. And from my understanding, combat is really important in this game. Like, you can die with a one-hit kill, but the combat is supposed to scale between fighting many enemies and just one-on-one enemies as well. And I think they're pacing the information that we get from the Ghost of Tsushima. It's obviously coming out in July, so they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. One thing I want to tell you about the game, I'll give you a rundown of what I know about the game. Here's all the little tidbits about the game, I should say little features. It is an open world game. There's no branching narrative. There are multiple difficulty settings, right? We already know that they're not going to utilize UI to a heavy degree. We already saw the extensive photo mode, which is amazing. That's another thing I'm hyped for, because the game looks really beautiful. There's multiple difficulty settings, if I didn't say that. The swordplay and the horse is all motion captured, if you didn't know. Pretty cool shit, right? There are hundreds of fucking side missions. Basically side missions. And what's cool about that is, well, they all have their own story. And they're going to be very, very feature heavy, rather. There's a dynamic time and day and weather system. So you got snow and rain so far. Simulated clouds. Just really cool shit. I mean, I'm really hyped for it. There's going to be a lot of things I would like to talk about when it comes to Ghost of Tsushima that I'm going to save for the podcast on Saturday. So I'm really excited. I just want them to show more swordplay, and I'm hoping that the swordplay, because stuff is going to be good, is as good as exploration.